guys, welcome back to At the Grill with Randy. Man, today we're going to talk about some pork butt. Now, the butt, as you can see over here, is actually the Boston butt. It's the top part of the shoulder is where that's coming from. You can actually get the whole shoulder, or you can get the Boston butt, which is the top part of the shoulder. It's got your shoulder blade in it. Let's see if we can find it there. There it is. There's that bone. So this will come out. When this thing's cooked right, you can just pull that bone right out and throw it to the dogs. But you can see that this has plenty of fat content. It's very forgiving meat to cook. However, that being said, the worst thing I've ever cooked since I've been smoking meat was one time I smoked one of these and it turned out terrible. It was tough as an old shoe. It was sad. It was absolutely sad. But today we're going to do it right, just for you. Some things you're going to need. You're going to need a food processor. You're going to need some of our pork rub. You're going to need a half a cup of brown sugar. You need a big pan, and you need a Boston butt. Let's get started. All right, we're going to prepare our seasoning now. I know you were thinking, what do we need a food processor for? Well, we're going to put our 1 cup of our pork rub in there. We're going to take our half cup of brown sugar, put that in there. Put your lid on. Pardon the noise. We're going to blend that up really good. I want it to get good and fine. The reason I want it fine is because it'll sink into that meat a little better. I'm going to go a little longer on that. That's not where I want it. I want it to look almost like powdered sugar. That's better. All right. Now here on the farm, we don't throw anything away. If you know anybody who lives on a farm, you'll find they're almost like hoarders. They don't throw anything away. I keep all my old seasoning containers for this very reason. Always reuse them. We're going to use just about every bit of this on this one piece of meat. All right, seasoning's ready. Let's grab some gloves and get after it. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I have a very specific way of doing my seasoning. Always from up high, let it lightly cascade down on your meat. Pat it, never rub it. Don't want to tear it. Don't want to open up any gaps and get seasoning down in a hole, then it not get smoked well. There we go. Now we're just going to put this on in layers, even on the fat side. Putting it on in layers. Just a light coat. As you see, we're back where we started. We're going to add another layer. Probably let this sit. probably gonna let it sit maybe 10 minutes. It'll sweat, and then all those juices will start working together. All of that really fine sugar and seasoning is gonna soak into this meat. So we're gonna let that sit maybe 10 minutes. I'm gonna go check my smoker. I'll come back and I'll probably do some more seasoning. Zoom in on that. You can see how the meat's starting to sweat just a little bit. That's what you wanna see. All that dry seasoning we put on is no longer dry, it's wet. That's a good sign. We're gonna add just a little more. Pat that down. I've already done the other side. And I've got the fat side up. Sorry, got the fat side up. Got the fat side up. We're gonna let it sweat just a little longer, maybe 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna throw it in the smoker. Got our smoker at 250 degrees. In my pan down here, I've got apple cider vinegar and water. That'll help keep the outside moist while it's smoking. So I told you earlier, the worst thing I ever cooked was a pork butt. Biggest mistake I ever made was trying to rush a pork butt. I had an Oklahoma Joe smoker. It's a good smoker, nothing wrong with the smoker. It had everything to do with me and the wind that day. Man, it was windy. I couldn't maintain my temp, and I fought it all night long. I don't think the thing ever really came to temp when I finally pulled the thing, and then went in to try and eat. I mean, it was just a bad deal. One thing you need to know about smoking a large piece of meat, you want to be consistent with your temperature. That's why I like using my pellet smoker, or some people like electric smokers. Nothing wrong with stick burners, I'm pretty good at that too. Just not on a real windy day like that in particular day. It just did not work out. So, you want to maintain that temperature. If you're going to go with a 250 cook, stay at a 250 cook. If you're trying to get the outside kind of tight and then bring your temperature down, that's okay too. But wherever you're at, you want to try and stick with a pretty constant temperature on your smoker all the way through the cook. It makes it better. And don't rush the meat. Sometimes you'll hit what's called a stall. The bigger the meat, the more opportunity you have to have a stall. When you hit a stall is when you never can seem to come over 150, 160. It just stays at 150, 160. It never seems to go above that. It'll go for an hour, maybe 2 hours at 150, 160 in the middle, and you can't get it to come up. It'll get there. That's just called a stall. It's normal. You can wrap them in foil sometimes, and that'll help speed up that process. Most people won't do that. Sometimes you just got to let that meat go and let it do its thing. Every animal was different. You don't know what the animal went through before it was butchered. If it was ran a lot, the muscles might be a little tighter than one that just sat on its butt all the time. I don't know really the reason, but you're going to have stall with some, you're not going to have some with other. So take your time, be patient, get you a big glass of iced tea, have a cigar, or whatever it is you do to relax, get on Facebook for a little while, watch some YouTube videos, anything. But just let that meat do its thing and don't rush it. It'll be done when it's done. Alright guys, so that last 2 hours I went ahead and wrapped it up. Maybe about an hour and a half. I wrapped it up in some foil. We was stalled there for just a little bit. So I'm about 200 degrees everywhere. The way you know your pork loin or your pork butt is done is when this bone will pull right out. There we go. Champ and Tony are ready for their bone. They'll get it later. Now you can do a lot of things with pork butt. Right there's your money muscle. It's right there next to the bone. That's the best cut of meat right there. About Looks like a football. But let's just take it like that, and we're gonna pull it all apart. Look how juicy that is and tender. It's really hot, so I'm not gonna taste it yet, but trust me, it's good. So that's a pork butt. Proper way to do it. We smoked for 9 hours, and I think we're gonna have a good meal. All right, we've had time to let it cool down, and we can actually get a hold of it. You see how well that's all pulling apart? Thus is why they call it pulled pork. It is really tender and juicy. Got a little bark going on right there. Give that a try. Give that a try. That's really good. Bob, come on in here to get you a piece of that. Tell me what you think. Andy, come on over here. Don't be shy, unless you're wanted by the mob.
And the
Witness protection program. All right. How'd we do?
Oh man, good.
That's the best pulled pork I've had today.
Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Real advice right there. Good friends, good barbecue. Good to have you watching. See you next time. Had a great time today cooking pork butt with you. Hope you did too. Give me a like over here if you enjoyed it. Subscription over there. Keep watching. We got more videos to come.